Constructing your life is about much more than just building a bank account. Each week, join real estate entrepreneur and mindset coach Austin Linney as he interviews guests who are constructing their dream lives and impacting the world around them on a daily basis. If you're an entrepreneur or wanting to start a business, or you just want to hear motivating stories of how others have overcome the odds, you are in the right place. And now for your host, Austin Linney.
Guys, welcome back to Construct Your Life. This is Austin Linney here. We got part Deuce in the house with my boy. Dude, guys, he says that I am the worst house guest that's ever existed because I go to bed too early and I'm always on a diet and I don't drink coffee. But dude, that's Italians for you. You have a, you know what? They talk about music being a vibe. Italians have, it's a vibe in their bloodstream. I think it just literally permeates.
I do agree. It's a vibe and it's a culture thing, right? Like I have not a problem with the early bedtime. It's just the early dinner makes life very difficult, right? Like I don't, if dinner is before 7:30, 8 p.m. for me, that's considered a snack, right? Like it doesn't make it onto you having all meals. Like you literally, if you go to bed and don't eat after 5:30, like you kind of skip the meal.
This could be a great diet for anybody that wants to, maybe you don't eat dinner. Like when I was in Andalusia, when I was in Granada, we stayed at these rooftop houses with these two guys who ran an opera house, and they didn't eat till 12 o'clock at night. And so I had to have 2 dinners before we had dinner with them. Like that was like truth. I had dinner at 5, dinner at 8. It's just a total different.
Yeah. And they wake up a little bit later. So it's nice. And it's actually,
and then they wonder why their entire economy is in the shitter. Yeah. Because they don't work. But that's okay. I think it could be both. Right. So, for anybody that didn't listen to the first episode, go back. Who knows what we talked about? Life, really, to be honest with you. But
probably most life, most of anything else.
But kind of tell them who you are, what you do, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah. So my name is Emanuele. I go by E. So if Austin refers to me as E, that's why. I was born and raised in Sardinia, Italy. I've been in the States now for the majority of my adult life. I came as an exchange student when I was 16 and left briefly and been back for about 12 years now. I am what I would consider a real estate entrepreneur. I do a lot of things in the real estate space. My beginning, which I think probably is what we talked about the most on the last call, has been vacation rentals. I've been doing that for the past 12 years. I own 40 vacation rentals now. That was slightly different last time we spoke. And I have a fully vertically integrated business model for the South Florida market. I have a real estate brokerage. I have a property management business. And our idea is literally we cater to people that want to buy vacation rentals. We help you find them, set them up, organize them, run them for you. And we do everything for you.
I love it. And, this year, just from the outside looking in, has been a big growth year for y'all. And one of the things that I talk about ad nauseum. So I'm leaving them tomorrow to go down to San Clemente to hang out with a bunch of business owners and coaches for the week for my birthday. And we're going to chill. And I think that conversation that you and I had in Miami is the conversation I have with every high achiever that I've ever met in my entire life. And it goes like this. As much as I want all the things, I want none of the things. And I think that you and I up against that. I probably butt up against that on a daily basis, because if I were to really sit back and look at everything I had going on and you were to get into my world, it would probably make a lot of people nervous. But like in my head, I see the construction 15 years from now. Like I really do, like the construction of the business. But I think one of the things that you and I do best is like that need and that want is there, but we're really particular about the type of investing we're doing /business. And it's more of like for lack of a better word, lifestyle investing. But don't get it twisted. We're working our asses off.
Yeah. And I think another thing that has changed drastically for me in the last couple of years, it's really being happy to say no to things that are not major alignments to what I want to do. So what I mean by that is, at the beginning, once I started making a little bit of money and I started being around people that invest all the time, I'm like, I need to invest in a bunch of things. And I invested in a business that didn't quite take off. It was actually a huge time suck. But the lesson there was that thing that I did wrong was not investing in the business. The thing that I did wrong, it was leaving my highway. So if you are from South Florida or from any major city, really, right? Like, there is the main highway here. It's called I-95. And I-95, since I've been here in high school, somehow it's in the same location, right? And they haven't moved it, but somehow they keep adding lanes. And probably if you're from a major town, that happens all the time, right? Like, the highway is never not under construction and there is always more lanes on it. And what I've realized is that how I look at my real estate business. And that's what I love real estate, is because real estate, to me, it's one of the businesses that allows you to add lanes to your business over and over in a very efficient way, and in a way that all the lanes are part of the same ecosystem. So they all feed into each other and they all help sustain each other. So then you can have a single client that is eight sources of income, right? 6 sources of income, however many you want, right? Because you can have a real estate team, right? Like, that's my vision, right? Real estate team, brokerage, property management business, construction, title company, lending, renos, service, right? So you can start doing that with like HVAC, plumbing, landscaping, and it just never ends, right? And it all fits into the same thing. So it's understanding that my obsession now is like, how do I keep growing my highway? And I don't need to go into other roads. Like, this is my road, and I'm just going to grow it for the rest of my life.
It's like we talk, well, we don't even talk, because the thing that everybody asks is, I don't understand how you, probably ask you the same thing. I don't understand how you do so many different things. And I'm like, no, you're not really looking at them. They're not that different. They're all the same conversations. A bookkeeping business, a construction business is still real estate. An Airbnb management company is still real estate. I'm having the same conversation with 7 different layers to it, to the same thing. It's not like I'm selling supplements and then I'm selling real estate. It's all real estate related, but I take my cue from Marcus Lemonis, and I really watched his show, The Profit. And every time he would buy the car wholesale business, and then he would buy the dealership. And he's like, now I have a place to sell my cars. Then he bought like 7 clothing brands and put them under one roof. And so he split the cost to all the clothing brand, cut the overhead in half, and systematized the process. Boom. And so that's what, like, I've always looked at. And I think you've seen the same thing for yourself.
Mm-hmm. And also because I think what you realize is over time. And I started, so a big thing that, I mean, you always talk about, it's you got to invest in yourself, invest in a coach in all areas, right? So as you know, I've been coaching with Maddie Aitchison, good buddy of yours, great dude. And like, talking about the biggest thing that I've learned from this last couple of months of coaching with him is that literally the way out is fucking through. And you just need to grow. Because the thing is this, right? Like, if you get lost in the moment and in the little things of where you are right now, you want to take your foot off the gas. Mm-hmm. But the reality is, like, the bigger the business is, and it's going to sustain and it's going to feed each other. And literally you're like, it's growing too much. And in reality, it's like, no, man, just have trust, keep on growing it. Because as the ecosystem gets larger, the ecosystem gets better.
Well, I'll give you a perfect example. I have a guy who took over management he's one of my coaching clients, took over management for my Airbnb company. And we're about to launch a fund, and we're going to manage him, and he's never done it before. And he's like freaking out. And he asked me this morning, like, what should I learn? Should I listen to STR secrets? Should I do all that? Should I listen to this Airbnb YouTube channel? And I said, no, don't do any of those things. He was like, what? I go, I want you to learn about a couple of things: communication, leadership, mindset. That's it. And he goes, why? And I go, because I've already been down this road before and built it the wrong way. We're building it the right way with VAs. And you're going to be managing people and emotions. And one of the number one things I say to Maddie all the time, I said, you're not running a hotel company, you're running a people company. And the more that you pour into these people and understand that everybody has different needs and wants and emotions, that's what's going to stretch you as a person. And that's the scary part that most people don't want to get into it. It's the same thing I say all the time. You don't have any business problems. Business problems don't exist. You have a personal problem wrapped up in business.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yeah. And that's super powerful. And going back to the other thing you tell him, right? The mindset, because I think you can listen to all of Austin's podcasts. You can listen to all of the podcasts, read all of those books, but it doesn't matter what you download into yourself if you don't upgrade your belief system. It just it's not going to happen, right? And like the iPhone is a perfect example, right? Like you can have the app on the phone, but if the app needs an update, the app won't open, right? And there is nothing you can do. Like it gets to the point that the app is like, right? Like they tell you like there is an upgrade now, and if you're like me, you're like, later, I don't have time right now, later. And then it gets to the point that the thing is like, you can't use this anymore. Mm-hmm. Are you going to upgrade now, or what's going to happen? Are you going to update this app?
Well, perfect example. My masseuse. So I made a promise to myself 6 months ago when my client base went up that I have to get a massage a week. Like it's not an option. It's for everybody's sanity and for mine that I get a massage. And
especially with how much you train, right? Like that's
the week before she was sick, I couldn't get it, and it's been very busy, and I had tension headaches for 5 days straight. You know how I feel today? Amazing. After yesterday. And so I realized that taking care of my health and my sanity and my meditation and my vacations, like that is more important, because then I can go give so much more of myself as a, when I want to be a father, as a, a boyfriend, as a leader of a company. It's more important for me to make judgment decisions. And if I'm not right, then I'm making judgments off of feeling bad. And that's not upgrading your phone, just like you said.
Yeah. And you can't escape it, right? And it's just like, it's the same thing of like, you delay it, and it may let you operate, but sooner or later that's going to come, right? And I think that's why they're like, oh, I got so burnt out. Like, I think burnout is a personal choice.
100%.
Right? Because like you need to you need to know your boundaries, and you need to know what you need. And there is no such a thing. And like, this is going to be super cliche, right? But it's the whole like, put your own mask on before you assist others. Mm-hmm. There's no way around it. Right. And especially like what we were talking about at the beginning, like right before we got on, is the same thing, right? It's just like, it can be a phase. Like it can be, I'm on a health phase now. I'm on a work phase now. It has to be everything all the time. And you just learn how to get better, and you just learn how to spin plates, and then you learn how to like pass on those plates. And then you spend your time just walking around, making sure that all the plates are still spinning. And you go back and you take care of yourself, and then you go out there and you just continue to do it.
I'll use Matt as an example, because obviously I'm inside of his hotel right now, and I see him once a week now. Matt has an ability to critique, but with love, but also force. And that's like super hard, because he's like, hey man, like if you really want to go to the next level of who you are, like you're a little bit of me, you need to learn like financial modeling. You need to learn like spreadsheet shit. And I'm like, I want to poke my eyes out of my sockets. And he's like, or you could just not do that, and you could stay where you're at. And so it's like, okay, well, Q1, That's what I'm going to do. And in that moment, I'm like, I really don't want to do this. But then in that exact moment, I've had enough training and done enough work on myself that I know that that's my Everest. And once I get going and I know enough to be dangerous, then now you put you put another tool in your tool chest. And I look at us and I look at you and the first time we talked to where we are to now. And I think the biggest difference that I see in us is just more of a calm of certainty, of execution. That's what I feel. Am I right there?
Yeah. And I honestly, I've been thinking about that a lot lately, right? Because I think since you and I spoke last, kind of preparing for this call, it's just like, has been a very, very pivotal year, right? And a lot of great things have happened. And one of the main things that has happened is this I have this absolute knowing now that whatever I put my mind to is going to happen. And it's kind of trickling to everything else. And even the things that I'm like like growing this brokerage, right? I no longer feel anxiety about, is it going to work? It's going to work. Mm-hmm. Why? Because I know who I am and I know where I draw the line and I know I don't stop until it's done. Mm-hmm. Right. And I have that certainty in myself, not because, yes, I visualize it, I've told myself and everything else, but I've also proved it to myself. Right. It's the same thing with you doing like 75 hard again. Right. Mm-hmm. It's not a question if you're going to do it.
Oh, no.
Because you know what I mean? Like you've done it so many times.
And I told the group that we're doing it with, I said, let me tell you something. Just so we're clear. When you sign up with me, you tally your name up, we don't quit. Like and at the question, it's this thing, it hit me like a couple of months ago. When you realize that you're the creator of everything that's in your reality, meaning your thoughts, your actions, your emotions, when that feeling clicks in you, it's game fucking over. And that's where I feel right now. Like, and don't get me wrong, am I still nervous? All the time. Do little thoughts sleep in? But I don't honor them whatsoever. And like you said earlier, the way to anything is through. Mm-hmm. And the thing is I just don't give a shit anymore. I really don't. Like, what's the alternative? This is the path that we're on. Entrepreneurship is where we're at, and it's going to be fucking crazy as shit. And guess what? That means there's also no ceiling to what you can create either. So that's all I care about.
Mm-hmm. And you can't escape it. Like the fact, if you like. And that's, to me, that is the craziest part about people that choose not to go after things. And it's just like the fact that like you're not guaranteeing yourself an easy life. You're not guaranteeing yourself a life that is empty of worry and stress and things. Because that's just part of the human condition. Like that's going to happen regardless. So why not? Right? Like, what if you're going to feel financial stress? Why don't you feel financial stress because you took down a massive project rather than like you feel financial stress because you can't afford to pay rent for your family? It's the same. Like your body doesn't know the difference. Like your body doesn't know, oh, I'm stressed out because I can't pay the rent for my family in this one bedroom we're living in, or I'm feeling stressed because I have a $80,000 mortgage payment on this like $20 million deal, right? It's the same thing.
There's a power to understanding that, like, and this is full disclosure. Like, if I wanted to, I could create whatever I wanted to. I could start this Airbnb mastermind. I could start this one. I could do this one. I could do all those things, and I could turn it on and make a little money. And then, like, this person introduced me. I signed a coaching client. There's something to be said to being able to control the faucet and whether you turn it on or turn it off. And the thing is like, I coach a lot of agents, right? Like half of my roster are agents. And like, I just think that the way that they view it is all wrong. I think that's why they're frustrated with it. And it's a perfect example. I've got a coaching client who is a nurse. Obviously, he is a high-end nurse and it's super in demand right now. And he's like, I'm going to buy this $130,000 house. I'm going to Airbnb it. And I was like, no, you're not. Not even close. And he goes, why? I go, because that's beneath you. I was like, you worked in the worst neighborhoods, the worst emergency rooms for fucking 10 fucking years. And now it's your fucking prom. Like, is there ever 2 years where they need you more than anything? There's short staff, 20 nurses. He's making triple overtime. You're about to have another 2 kids. Like, bro, hammer it the fuck down, put it in some passive investing, and you're making like $500 an hour. Like, fucking no, you're not going to go buy. But it takes a shift, right? It takes an entire shift. And what I told him is, I said, do you know what the actual definition? It's come up like 7 times today. Do you know what the actual definition of patience is? So the actual definition of patience is the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah. And I choose, like Ben Newman said, I choose to exercise aggressive patience. Meaning I'm cool with the process, but I'm not going to wait for what I want. And what I've been making people do lately, especially my coaching clients, is I say, I said, suspend all belief. Don't have no context and just tell me exactly what you want right now. And in that moment, I think it's the first time that they've actually said, this is what I want. Mm-hmm. Like, I will be successful. I am going to go for this. Like, how many times have you really said that to the world?
Unapologetically. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, you know what, man? I have been in this short-term rental game for so long. You know what? I think I'm paying the light bills over at Airbnb and HomeAway and those companies. The fees are getting ridiculous. And the only way to do that is to stop building your real estate on somebody else's platform. And my man, Mark Simpson, Book Direct Playbook, the book is coming out. And this is a no-brainer. We got the hotels. The hotels do 50% direct booking on our website because of the tips and tricks that he's taught us with marketing and so on and so on. I've got a preview of this book. It is a game changer. Make sure you check it out, dude. You won't regret keeping more of your money for yourself.
And I think another thing that you hit on, and I think that is one of the greatest issues that we have with everything that is going on in the world, is that the shiny object syndrome has never been more present than now, right? Because everywhere you look, people are making crazy money doing crazy things, right? Like, if you look at this whole like crypto and NFT and the metaverse and like all of those things, you can get lost in it completely, and you don't realize that there's a cycle of learning and you can't escape it. So there is going to be lessons and time that's going to take you, and the investment. And the thing that you don't realize is the majority of the time, chasing shiny object, you never get to the level of mastery into any of those things. And that's why you feel frustrated. And that's why you don't feel like your life is changing, because you just don't spend the 10,000 hours to master anything. And you just keep going around and around and around and around, and you just never reach mastery anywhere. And what I've realized, the thing that's changed massively in my life, you can't get me to do anything that is not in alignment with what I've decided that I'm going to do. And you know how often I say to people, hey, what do you think about that? I have no idea what that is. What do you think about this thing? No clue. Have you tried this new thing? No. Why not? Because my systems work. My business works. I'm making money. Why? Right? Is the art of saying no, but not because you don't believe, not because the thing is because you believe so much in you, and you believe so much that you know everything. Because that's another big belief that I have, is like, at the end of the day, most people know way more right now than they can possibly need to ever know. And there's people in history that have built massive, massive businesses. They didn't know 10% of what most people know right now. And they did it anyways, because there was not a need of like, I need to know all topics, right? I see so many newbies that come. We have a investor meetup for real estate, and I see so many newbies that know so many things. And they're like, what about if this happens? I'm like, bro, I've been buying shit for like 12 years. That has never happened. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this worries that you have.
Dude, I'm in the part of this like group, and they talk about Airbnb all the time. And the people that have never had an Airbnb, you should see these questions. And
They're crazy.
What the fuck are you talking about? I've been in this game for 7 years in 7 states all across the country. That's never happened. Well, my husband said this, and I'm like, well, then don't do it.
And that's the other thing, right? Like I had a conversation with a friend of my little brother this weekend about Landmark. And like, if you don't know Landmark is similar to like a Tony Robbins thing. And like, I look back into my life and I look at my time spent doing the Landmark training and the Landmark forum and everything else. And it was a pivotal moment in my life in changing my conversations around myself and my family and everything else. And this kid, 23, was super convinced that it's a complete scam and yada, yada, yada. And he was arguing to change my mind. And I was like, listen, man, 1, I already done it. So you can't change it. 2, I don't care that you do it. All I can tell you is this is what has done for me. And all I can tell you is that if I was you, I would do it at that age. And then people still try to argue with you. And I'm like, once again, you're right. I don't care. Like, I don't need to change your mind. I don't need you to tell me I'm right. I don't need any of that anymore. And you know what the best thing is? You laugh at everything because you don't have attachment to anything. Mm-hmm. So there was a guy this morning at the gym, and I asked him if he was done with his machine, and he had such a shitty attitude. And it was like 5:15 in the morning. What has happened already in your day at 5:15 in the morning that you're an asshole already? Why do you choose to live that way? Right? But that's what people don't understand. All of these things that you hold on to and all your opinions and how right you have to be and how wrong everybody else has to be, it all weighs you the fuck down, and you don't need any of that.
I interviewed this guy, and he is very wealthy and has flipped 200 houses a year for 8 years. Owns multiple things, planes. And I said, what's your number one advice to people when they're trying to get into real estate or learning? He goes, when you pay for something or you hire a coach, shut the fuck up. He goes, you've never flipped a house before yet. I flipped 3,000 and you're not listening to me. You're thinking that you know a better way, or he's like, do you know how many people I see that come into my program? And I'm like, dude, shut up. Like, I'm making millions of dollars, but that is their ego out there. And at the end of the day, like, you and I have been in enough rooms where half the time we're going, I can't believe I'm in this fucking room right now. And like, it's very hard to shut me and you up, but we do, and we just listen. And if you stay in those rooms long enough, you're going to become a peer to those people. Like 2.5 years ago, like me and Maddie, like that was a mentor. Like that was a guy that taught me, treat me. I said what he said. I listened to what he did. Now we're like peers. Now he's like, okay, I trust you just as much as I do myself, and vice versa. I want to build with you. Like, that's an amazing feeling. And then he's in rooms where he's like, holy fuck, and then he tells you. And so I think that first of all, we've overcomplicated everything. We have decision fatigue in America too. There's 7 milks at fucking Starbucks. And at the end of the day, whatever you think you need to do is probably like a quarter of what you actually need to do and just keep it simple and quiet as fuck. Like, I think people's lives are just too noisy around them. Like, like this really successful guy I like to listen to was talking about how, like, if you meet like multimillionaires and billionaires, like their space is clean. Like, they're not getting notifications. They're not getting dings. They have an assistant that's getting them things. Like, they're keeping their headspace clean. And one of the things that I'm focusing on moving into the next year is I realize that as a visionary, and what I'm set up to do is, you're paying me for my judgment and my quick decisions. So I need to be in a headspace where I can be creative, or I have the opportunity to feel good about the decision I'm making within that moment, just like that. I don't need to be filled up with too much stuff. And so that's my next transition to me. And I know that, like, a lot of people are like, you're not working. And I'm like, no, you're not getting it. Like, you're not getting it at all. Cause it's decision and judgment. That's what they're paying for. And it's like, because back to what you said earlier, you could easily upgrade the systems and dynamics for your 40 units, because I've seen your place. But when you bought it, you had cleaners and a management team that was kicking butt. And why would I mess with them to make other people feel good when my shit's working? I don't care what's come out. I don't care what makes sense. And so I think that too many people are quick to jump to the next thing.
When the stuff is working. And like, understand something, right? Like, again, don't get me wrong. Like, the thing that I'm saying is to not have blinders on. If your business needs an upgrade to systems and procedures, you have to do it. But what I'm saying is that the system and procedure upgrade is the same line of thinking that people have with that I'm getting started. What should my business cards look like? Right? Like, how is my website going to look like? That shit does not fucking matter. And that is things that you're putting in your plate to delay yourself and to keep yourself safe and to keep yourself small and to keep yourself from doing what you know you have to do. Because 99% of the time, the business cards don't matter. I have tons of boxes of business cards. I never carry any with them with me anymore.
You know what's my business card? My fucking results. That's my business card.
And my phone number. Just fucking call me. You need me? Call me. What's your number? I'll text you right now. That's my business card, right? Like, you need my cell phone? I'll give you my cell phone. Right? Like, and it's not, again, guys, like, what I'm saying is not that information is bad. But you need to understand why you're seeking what you're seeking, right? And when I started doing a lot of work on myself, my spiritual coach at the time said, you're listening to too many things. I need you to cut out all podcasts, all books. If you need to do anything, journal and learn from yourself. Mm-hmm. I haven't, and this is going to sound bad being a guest on a podcast and having my own podcast.
No,
I don't listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
Why? Because every time was like something else for me to think about. And again, I am at a point in my life that I know everything that needs, not that I know everything, but I know everything that I need to do to get my business to the level that I want it for right now.
And then, and also in turn, you're also surrounded by the people that you need to get you there. That's it. And then when we get to that platform, then we'll have a different conversation.
Exactly. And so now the game is put your head down and fucking work. Mm-hmm. That's the other thing. And I know you love Andy Frisella, and he's a big preacher of that, is that like most people don't fucking work. Like, life doesn't change until you work for it. And like, you don't see this because it's, my thing is off, but one of my things says behind me says dreams don't work unless you do.
Well, and at the end of the day is, don't you dare tell me what my work looks like. Meaning you don't know that I have 3 levels of relationships that I'm cultivating. 1 for 3 years from now, 1 for 2 months from now, 1 for a year from now. Are you that calculated in your networking? Because I know you aren't. So like, my work is predicated 100% on being able to have snap relationships, value-driven relationships with my company and my clients need. Meaning, do you need a book editor? Got them. Do you need a lawyer? Got him. Do you need this? So that's my job. And what I told people, and this is super interesting. I never had somebody ask me this before, but a client asked me, they said, what do you read? And I said, I read books for y'all and I read books for me. And he was like, what the fuck does that mean? And I go, because I'm a coach. And so I have to learn about habits, visioning, building. I have to motivate you. I have to understand why you do what you do. Psychology based, Atomic Habits. That's what I read for them. And then all the books that I read are about private equity, funds, $100 million exits, lending money.
I just got that book.
Yeah.
I just got those 2 books that you sent me.
Well, that's for me. And so there's 2 different sides of me where I'm learning to pave the way forward for you. And then I'm learning stuff that gets me excited. And then, and I kind of break up my learning. And what I really love to do is I schedule out my books and my audiobooks that I'm reading so I don't have to search for the next book. It's all about efficiency.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm going out of town tomorrow and I'm going to wear 2 different clothes for morning and night because I haven't worn any clothes in the last 6 months because all I do is work behind this desk. And so I'm like, dude, and so at the end of the day, that's super exciting for me. And I'll still do a little work. We're going to film some podcasts and stuff like that. But that's work to me because part of my work is growing the brand that is me, which then grows the company, which then grows me able to have more employees. But people are sitting around and they're pointing fingers and they're saying, well, that's not work. That's not work. What I think you're doing is I think you're putting false things in front of your way. So you trip yourself up so then you can blame yourself. And then we're into the shame cycle. And then we're back to square zero.
Yeah. And you keep yourself busy, right? Busy feels good. And sometimes I fall back into that, right?
Busy feels good, but I have, so Omar, my coach, man, he said something so perfectly. Physically, I have set my schedule up the exact way I want to it. Mentally, I'm not there yet. Meaning I front load my week. Everything is right where it needs to be, but I'm still working on shutting it down Friday and Saturday, Sunday. That doesn't mean I'm getting a lot better and giving myself permission, but it's still a thing. But once I get there, like Brad Johnson always said this, there's 2 versions of you. There's the killer, the tidal wave, the business, and then there's the chill. And I'm having this internal struggle with both, but I know myself. And if I don't so from today, I'm 4 a.m. to 7 o'clock at night, straight through. And the reason is because if I lose 30 minutes in the middle of the day, I'll be off like a butterfly somewhere else. So I just go pile through it. And then on Thursday, I have nothing. Wednesday, I have nothing. But that's the way I like to do it. That's for me. It doesn't mean it's for you. And I think you just have to know what you like and what you don't like. And that's hard because you as an agent, some of your time is not your own. And so that's the number one thing I see with agents is they're trying to figure out oh my God, these people are driving me crazy and I can't schedule my life. And I'm like, well, that's just another excuse. Get up before they get up.
Yeah. Or create boundaries, right? I had this conversation with somebody one time and I was like, I don't believe that I have to work with people that I don't like. And he said, well, sometimes the commission is a commission and sometimes you have to work with people that you don't like. I'm like, I hear that that's what you believe. I don't believe that. Because that's the thing, right? You have to be abundant, and abundance is all around. And my abundance in my life is that I only work with people that I enjoy working with. And if I don't enjoy working with you, I'm not going to compromise my life for money, because clients are always there. Clients are always available. And then the other coin, the reverse of that coin, it's the most amazing thing is that when you only work with people you like, work doesn't feel like work. Mm-hmm. Work feels like work when you have to deal with the bullshit of the bad vibe at the office and the annoying boss and all of that. And I don't believe in you having to live that life. So my life feels amazing all the time because all of my people are people that I love working with. And so I love seeing houses. So to me, that doesn't feel like work already. And then if I only see houses with people that I enjoy hanging out with, I'm just hanging out with a friend, looking at things that I love.
Amazing.
How does that work?
No, I think I got to a place, and this was kind of my like holy shit moment. Dude, I walked away from a big chunk of change, like just left it on the table. Could have fought for it, but I just told myself that this one client is taking up all my time compared to the 15 I have, and it's not worth it. He's stealing my energy, and I think that for me was my biggest move. I really feel like that was the time that I signaled to myself, no, motherfucker, you got this shit. Just keep trudging forward. Your life's amazing. If you have an off week, go enjoy yourself, jump in the car, or go do what you want to go do. Like,
yeah,
it's all relative.
It's all good. And one of my mentors, Dan Grieb, always said this is like, always remember your story will end well. And you have to hold that belief in your mind that like life is good. And the momentary moment that you're in is just that. It's a moment. And it doesn't determine your life. It does not mean anything. And the fact that you maybe fuck up does not make you a fuck up. The fact that you do something wrong does not make you a bad person. It's just what happens. And the moment that you like have the abundance to believe that everything comes when it comes, right? Because that's the other thing, right? Like you need to be, and what I described it, and going back to what you were saying about patience, right? For the last 10 years, as I was building this business, I defined myself as comfortably uncomfortable. What did that mean for me? Is the fact that sometimes I didn't have the money, right? Sometimes I couldn't pay myself. Sometimes I had to do oh, your check is on the way. Mine got lost in the mail. I didn't fucking have the money. That check didn't get sent out. The check got sent out a couple of days after when the money came. But what was I comfortable with is my actions were right. I was putting the fucking work in, and I believed that it was going to happen. So I found reassurance in those three things. And I just put my head down and I kept working, right? And the ocean got rough sometimes, but the boat kept moving forward. And I just kept doing that. And then again, what I was saying earlier is that now that experience, that belief, that faith is just getting stronger. And then I look at everything else in my life. I'm like, I am the guy that did that. I can do this. I can do that. And I'm comfortably uncomfortable.
And just to relate it to a fact that I read yesterday in this news journal I was reading, is that Florida's tourism numbers are up even before pre-COVID. So like they're higher than they were before, right? And so not only that, those 10 years that you put prior in with the experience and building up your thing, now you're poised and in the right mindset. And now the world has aligned for you to cash in over the next couple of years, for you to then create the life that you truly want, which is half between here and half between Italy. Mm-hmm. And that's all because you didn't stop back there.
Yeah. Yeah. And same thing with 2020. Like 2020 happened. I bought 18 apartments, the biggest deal of my life at that time, right? And it was like the biggest amount of money, put it all on the line, scheduled to refi all out by like end of March, early April. And then COVID happened. And again, comfortably uncomfortable. I know this will pass. And I know I can handle it. And you know why I know I can handle it? Because I'm not going to fucking stop. Did I end up paying like $700,000 in an interest-only loan? Yeah. But do I have all of them now? Yes. Did I refi? Yes. Do I have more money in that business than I ever had before? Yes. So is the comfort you want right now? Or is the comfort you want the life? The whole fucking life, right? Like no, this moment right now.
Dude,
no, the 23 to 26, no, the 30 to 35, right? Is that is what you were saying, right? Like, is the long term, like, are you doing the right things?
they don't even understand, because I don't tell anybody anymore, because it's not important, because I don't give a shit anymore, because I learned my lesson. 5 years, 7 years from now, I'm be having like eight. I'm be having like 8 businesses paying me monthly without me doing a single fucking thing. Not to mention my coaching business. I mean, it's gonna be over.
Yeah,
like you be able to do whatever the fuck I want. But guess what? It ain't pretty right now. Every dollar that comes in has got a place for it, and it's going back out. And I'm still cleaning up stuff for my divorce, and I lost $100,000 in a house that I gave up in my divorce. Like, it's not pretty, but I guarantee you, you're going to ask me in 7 years, 10 years how I did it all. And I'm going to be telling you, go to podcast number 1. I've been saying the same fucking thing for fucking 10 years.
Yeah. And then, I want to share this. I know probably we're going to go soon, but like, so January 2021, had a chance to buy one of the units that was outstanding. And I had a bunch of money in my savings. And I was like, this is the chance. I'm going to put all of it in. Okay. So went from money, like 6-7 months worth of money in my savings, psychologically, that feels great, to no money. Now, okay, I'm going to put all the money back. So hustle, put all the money back. 2 weeks ago, we were closing the 29 unit in Charleston. We were raising the money. We didn't raise all the money that we needed. And so the partners, it's me and 3 other guys, were like, we're going to come up with the money. I was supposed to sell a property that hasn't sold yet, so I didn't have the money. I have $54 in my savings account right now. But you know the thing, dude? I will do that shit every time. Because comfort, that fat savings account, it's a trap. Right? Like, but like, do you understand what I mean? It's just like, again, do you believe in yourself? Did you do the right moves? Because that's the thing, right? Like, I made the right moves. So I know that my monthly bills are covered by other things that I've done. And that the money, that 4, 6, 7 months in the savings is just for what? In case I die? Well, fuck, I'm dead. That's somebody else's problem, right? That's somebody else who, like, you know what I mean? And like, my wife will get life insurance money. But again, even for her, the monthly choices that I made equal to monthly money. So really, does she need 7 months worth of living expenses? No, because money comes in every month regardless. But are you willing to burn the fucking ships? And are you willing to keep doing it? And that's why I level up. And that's why you keep leveling up. And that's what Mary level up. And like, you can look at anybody like Grant Cardone, love him or hate him, does the same thing. Every 6 months, he goes broke. And that's why he has grown so exponentially, because he puts all of it in. Mm-hmm. But you got to be willing, man. Like, it's not, ain't nobody going to give it to you. Ain't no other way of doing it. And you have to tell the universe how fucking bad you want it. Like, do you want it that bad? Show me. Put all of that in. All in every time. You get slapped in the face? All in all the time. All in all the time. Because then, you know what I mean? Like, because the first time you get slapped, it hurts a little bit more. Yeah. But then as you keep getting slapped, you just kind of shake it off. You know, you're like, it's not that bad. I recovered in a month last time. I recovered in 2 weeks the second time. I recover in 5 minutes now, right? And Al Elrod says this is like, we have a rule in our house that you're allowed to be upset about something for 5 minutes. And you can scream, punch walls, do whatever you want. And then you say to yourself, I can't change it. And you just fucking move on. Stop being a victim. Stop making stories. Stop making people wrong. Stop making people right. Just fucking live your life and do it, right? Do it, do not. There is no try, man. You just got to do it.
Rewind that shit, guys. That's fucking powerful as fuck. I got this guy that I've been helping out that are highly, highly successful. And we asked him on the podcast, how's your business doing? And he goes, it's just uncomfortable enough for us to be highly successful. It's the truth.
Comfortably uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
Like comfortably uncomfortable.
And he makes $400,000 a month. He ain't done. He don't give a shit. And I talked to him this morning. He said, I'm chasing my next mountain. Like, dude, when you realize that the game is the game, don't be mad at the game. And at the end of the day, doesn't mean everybody's got to be an entrepreneur. Doesn't even mean everybody's got to be an investor. But understand that whatever you're thinking, whatever your dreams are currently, 10x those things, then go after those, and you'll create the life that you want to lead. So if people want to find out about you, they want to see what you got going on. How would they do that?
Instagram is probably the spot I hang out in the most. Is epani.realestate. That's E, like my first letter of my name, Pani, PANI.realestate. You can find me there, and that has my link tree on there for everything else. And then, yeah, man, just reach out to me, send me messages on there. Do not ask me to coach you. I do not do that. And I am super clear with people. I don't do that. Because again, like, if you listen up to this point, you know why. Because it's not my fucking lane. And like, I do the STR Secret podcast with our good friend Mike. Mike has a mastermind.
Yep.
Mike teaches people. Mike is fucking amazing at what he does. If you want coaching, pay Mike.
I send people to Mike all the time.
Yeah, and I love to give back. So I do the podcast, and I tell people all the time. People are like, "Can you coach me?" I'm like, "Have you listened to the 70 plus episode on short-term rentals that we posted?" No. If you don't want it enough to listen to 70 episodes or whatever the fuck the number of episodes is, why do you have the audacity to come and waste my fucking time?
You know what my old business partner's doing? We sold a house together and we just started a new business. And he's been working in the restaurant business. He is going back right now and he's listening to every podcast I have. And he said he's like 110 in. And he's like, oh my God, my whole life's changed. And so he's going to listen to all of them. And then we're going to do a podcast about what he learned. And I'm like, guys, that's awesome. Dedication. Like that shit is dedication. Because he wants, so we've been kind of distant a little bit the last couple of years. And he wants to see where I am mentally. And that's how he's going to do it instead of, and like, I didn't even tell him to do that, but that's what he's doing. I thought it was fucking amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And I told somebody last month at the real estate meetup that said the same thing. Is like, can I pick your mind about things? And there were a couple people doing it. And I told him, we can go out, but you have to listen to all the podcasts. And I'm like, 99% of people, I said that all the time because it's such an easy hurdle, right? And like, we don't have hundreds of podcasts, right? We have like 70 plus. So it's not that difficult.
On
right?
2X, like that's like a month. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? Like if you're driving back and forth to work like 45 minutes to an hour, you can listen to 2 a day, right? You'll get through that shit, no problem. And they're not all an hour. So like, it's literally like, and this guy did it. And so what happens when you do it? Then I'll come and meet with you. That's no problem. Like, I'm not arrogant. Like, I'm not trying to think, but I also have to protect my time. And I also have to protect my energy. Because assholes, what I call assholes, is those people that want to come and ask you questions and then don't do fucking shit about it. And then you meet them 6 months later, 2 years later, and they want to have the same conversation. I'm like, nah, motherfucker, we had this conversation. I'm going to tell you the same things. Why do you assume that we can keep having the same conversations? Just because this is how you like to fucking torture yourself.
Dude, hey, great. I have told certain clients that if I'm having this conversation one more time for 2 more weeks, I'm dropping you as a client.
Yeah.
I'm done. Either
Yeah.
make a fucking decision or don't, but I'm not talking about it anymore.
Exactly. But that's a good coach. Like that's the understanding of what a good coach is. Because like I don't want your money more than I want my life.
Succeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And my
and
life.
my quality of life, right? Like I don't I can't want it more than you want it for yourself. And two, if you start becoming a headache, again, going to the abundance, I believe that I am able to work only with people that make me feel good, and I make them feel good, and we grow together, and we are compatible, and it's awesome all around. That's my belief. You can say that's not true. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say. And again, like we said earlier, if you believe that, you are right. Absolutely right.
All right, guys, if you got some value from this episode, send it out. Don't hire him as a coach, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Construct Your Life with Austin Linney. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and pay it forward by sharing with a friend. Most importantly, take this opportunity to start constructing your life by taking immediate action on what you learned. For show notes, resources, and more information on one-on-one coaching with Austin, visit constructyourlifepodcast.com.